Yeah, I think, again, it's a pretty big win off of that win against Boys last week. That's going to be really good for the head-to-head to kind of break the difference between all of these 4-1 teams. So getting a win here and continuing that streak is going to be absolutely essential. Head-to-head does not matter if your winning record is lower. So it's going to be up to the Rat Pack to continue this streak and be able to take out RTF. Well, as you mentioned, 2-3 not winless, but certainly the underdogs here. We'll see, though, because all three of these players have been around the block and they know what they want to do. And we'll see what they're going to be able to do against the Rat Pack.
Certainly not winless. In fact, nobody is winless anymore, as Polar Cortex did find their way in. And in fact, they're doing quite well. But this is not about them. This is about the Rats and RTF. We're starting off here with power play for the side of Rat Pack. Looking pretty good to start off here, though. Leon does have a flip. Might have to use that defensively here, though, or maybe it helps kill Temple Melon. A flip, though, from Carmine into another flip from Temple Melon. It's certainly going to secure the goal. I mean, that is definitely a point, but two pretty big resources used there by the pack of Rats. Let's see what we got here. We got Leon actually having the Van Brace. We saw from another NASL game the other week that Van Brace did pretty incredible things. I am a Van Brace true believer now at this point. After seeing that, instantly gets a kill, though. Leon spinning that flip to grab a power play. Nicely done. But yeah, the vicious Van Brace doing such a good job of keeping players alive. Everyone on the side of RTF is definitely taking prize fighter here. Even Malcolm Curry taking the powerhouse balls, which is good for Rasmus, giving some extra power too. So going to be pretty powerful kills from the side of RTF. We'll see if the Rat Pack can keep themselves alive and maybe put enough pressure to get some of these barriers before they go.
Yeah, really big KO, I think, from Leon to get it onto Fresh. Finny, a character that not only has been shown to be really effective here in the North American Strikers League, but infamously always has that damage amplification. Not to mention she could do some damage herself should push come to shove. So having a prize fighter stacked on her is a big difference with that being gone, especially since Carmine elected to use aerials. It's going to be very hard for these prize fighter snowballs to happen. That being said, doesn't matter if you just score traditionally, and that is exactly what you're seeing coming out from Tempo Melon and Crew. 3 prize fighter stacks on the X as well, looking fantastic. Going to potentially the final point here of the first set.
Yeah, kind of a catastrophic situation here for RTF, having X being the one getting those kills, getting those prize fighter stacks. Another huge kill due to the Maelstrom Orb, just having so much rain here, though, dealing all the damage they want to Malum as well. Gonna send them out of the play just for a little bit. Gonna take the goalie spot there. We have an approach here from Carmine and Temple Melon. Dealing the damage to Malum, actually gets just the headbutt, which is somehow with just enough range to find the kill, which is great. Moffin going to spend the Death's Touch to at least outplay Temple Melon for the moment. Probably not going to spend any extra resources there. Frightfully Fresh helping with that misdirection to get that in there.
Oh my
Flash
God.
from Carmine is going to allow Temple Melon to hold the ball, get it on in there, almost killing Leon as well. And certainly going to take the first set here for Rats. Is it X going to be our first pick? That is certainly the best pick here for Rat Pack.
Yeah, fully stacked prize fighter. Tempo swing coming into this draft as well. Stinger, a potential pickup as well. But I think, Tempo Melon is going to be able to take over this game against Set 1X, getting a really good pickup in draft. This is going to be a force to reckon with for the rest of the game. So I think that right now, Rats are looking phenomenal. They are absolutely showing up and making a statement here in this first set. And I think this is a team that looks like they could take that first seed. And that was an absolutely stellar performance.
That was the Rat Pack is really outperforming what people might have seen. Of course, these players are so good. Like you said, beating Boys last week is, man, that is, I'd say something like, oh, no slouch. But that's better. That's more than simply no slouch. The Boys, of course, been top echelon this entire time. As another kill as actually being exchanged there. Tempo Melon cashing in another stack of prize fighter, getting so damn involved here, putting on so much pressure. Malum trying to help get it out. Leon almost gets that barrier, but Frightfully Fresh flies to the strike in that spot. Tempo Melon almost gets another kill onto Leo, but gets the rush right on out of there at the right time. Pushing damage onto Malum to the top side as well. Carmine going to Rose Warp their way on in here. Moffin almost holding both barriers, losing one. Now going to have to strike more Tempo Melon, but does find their way out of there with the assistance of Malum, who is now the kill target and could be executed shortly.
Yeah, it's looking real bad from Loom, just taking so much pressure. But on the flip side, the second time that's happened today, Leon finds a Very good pick on a Frightfully Fresh. Now going to be forced to playing defensive here for the Rat Pack. We'll see, though, the defense has been looking really good from both forwards when they've been called so far this game.
Wild strike there from Moffin. I was saying Carmine might have had a good chance, a really good chance to score there. Nice strike there from Temple as well to hold the ball on this side of the board. RTF, a tough time getting this one out of here, though. Can't seem to find their way through. I mean, the Atlas variation does kind of do this with the orb in the center, making the clear lanes just so tiny. Side lanes are just impossible to get the ball past, and a flip there from Temple is actually just going to blast Moffin the heck out of there, and another point here for Rats.
Yeah, this is peak Tempo Melon gameplay. This is kind of what she's known for in a lot of these games, right? Very disrespectful, very in your face, looking for all of these opportunistic KOs and just getting a momentum snowball going. So should this continue, it's going to be a very hard time for RTF to find any sort of leverage in this game to work with, because this X is already so incredibly strong.
Incredibly strong and incredibly low. Stands in the goo for just a little longer than they probably wanted to there. They have a chance to get a kill here, but going to use the evade to grab the orb nicely, but comboed into the Crater Maker, now shattered completely once again. Maloom having this flip, not going to spend it there though, dealing damage to Carmine, who gets the Rose Warp to stuff it, flips right through, and that was literally the best case scenario for Rats. They are both shattered, about to be dead, killed, and gone, but scoring the point and ending it, that was peak performance.
Yeah, fantastic, right? Not only denying the stacks from Muffin Koi, which can use them very well on the Rasmus, but putting them on a set point as well. The snowball continues to happen. A perfect game, potentially, for the Rat Pack. I don't think RTF has scored a single goal yet, but now they're looking to break that streak.
They do definitely have the resources to do it. Lilian working on a flip here as well, but Temple Melon just... Man, so you get an alarming amount of energy just by getting involved with that X, spinning that bell ringer, punching the orb. I mean, it's kind of, this is a really good variation for X2, as a kill there is being exchanged. Looks like Maloom might have gotten the credit for that one. Big kill. Okay, nice. RTF finally sinks one, ending the lost streak smile and getting a point here.
Yeah, will not go out 9-0 RTF, but still, they've only made the first step in a very steep uphill battle. This is still going to be an incredibly powerful X. They're still 1 point away from losing the entire set proper, and even though they have some prize fighter stacks to their name now, those could disappear in an instant should Tempo Melon find a good position. So going to be up to Leo Leon and now Muffin Koi in the midfield, actually, to make something happen in Maloom's stead, because this Luna has been getting punched nonstop.
Yeah, and most likely not going to stop getting punched, although does have Berserker with one of the more interesting awakenings that exist now in the game. Hard to quantify the value from it, but definitely going to be seeing some numbers change when your health is low. Lilian dealing with Fresh here, though. Not able to get the point. Temple Melon blast into infinity from that Crater Maker. The extra stack of Prize Fighter helping out as well. A little bit low, get some numbers from that Berserker as well. Gonna heal up a bit, trying to get a little 2v2 situation going on. Moffin gonna try to get advantage here to get a 3v2, but Temple Melon does return a flip stuffed by Leo Leon. Frightfully Fresh actually wins out in that spot, but then the passive from Zentaro cleans up the point. And RTF is on their way to taking a set of their own.
Yeah, this is looking really good now, actually. 2 stacks across the board for RTF. Temple Melon only with 1. Frightfully Fresh with absolutely nothing. So Bounce House can lead to a lot of chaotic situations, but that means that it's going to be perfectly advantaged for RTF should the chaos kind of ensue for this Luna and Zentaro, the very mobile characters in this game. So we'll see what they can do of it, as a very scary last point for both teams.
Yeah, I do like the fact that Luna does have a lot of agency over this map. Of course, Estelle does have some long range, which is quite good, but Luna getting there with her body feels really good, especially when you have a flip like this, who's going to spend it, dealing some damage to Temple Melon, stuffed by the Crystal Thorns. Temple Melon, who's looking quite low now, healing up just a little bit there in the hands of Frightfully Fresh, gets another Bell Ringer to deal a bunch of damage. Muffin Koi holding that last barrier through this bouncy house. Leo healing up with the Van Brace, even just by striking the ball, which is honestly incredible how much healing you get from that. Big finish comes out, doesn't make its way in, actually does give the ball to Temple Melon. Hard situation for Muffin Koi, but they do end up getting it. A flip in a combo with the Bill Rush. Well done, making sure that RTF does not take any sets here, regardless of their prize fighter stacks. And it looks like Carmine is going to be grabbing the first awakening here.
Yeah, It is International Rat Day after all, and the Rat Pack, after losing their perfect game, do manage to still take the set. Looking here, I see those Deadeye Deny probably coming in for the Estelle. Yeah, there it is. But the Luna's going to be more than happy, I think, with the Spec Training, Super Surge. Yeah, actually, Leo Leon electing not to take it here, instead going for some of those cooldowns with the heavy impact. But I think both teams are just looking to lean into the damage. So the last two members of the pick, no damage left, just picking the thing that reduces that damage. So I think we have a very bloody game coming forward. Clarion Test Chamber is a map that allows for that sort of playstyle, and I think both teams are going to be going at each other's necks in this next set.
Absolutely. Malone making the conscious decision to not take the specialized training and going for something a little bit more consistent. Your cooldowns for your version of the dash punch are up a little bit more often, so Super Surge is certainly going to make the boost a lot stronger there, so we'll see if that can grab any kills here. Leo Leon fighting through the midfield, trying to get it through Carmine. Malum does get a chance to get the ball. Tempo Melon not done yet. Got the blood in their eyes just to deal some more damage to this Luna. Actually just strikes it on through, right at the bottom side. Moffin cannot make it there, but just enough open goal. Tempo Melon finds it in, and it truly is International Rat Day, perhaps.
Yeah, speaking of a little bit of a rat play style, Tempo Melon, actually, I really like the decision to strike downwards there. I think the kind of the layers of which Moffin Curry is thinking is that X is going to move up there. Tempo Melon kind of positioning herself to kind of look like she was doing that, but it ended up being a feint. So really good. It's kind of like those small things that allow brawlers to really take over a game, and that's that kind of NASL caliber striking coming out from the X. Even if we're not seeing all of those massive KOs, we are seeing really good, solid play fundamentals from the Rat Pack.
Yep, Carmine now completely shattered, though. Big Finish comes out to help relieve a little bit of pressure there. Knock Malum around just a little bit. Crater Maker once again into orbit. Carmine shall stay just for at least 13 seconds, as these barriers are still holding. Frightfully Fresh looking good right now. One down, a little bit of damage dealt to Tempo Melon. Just gonna get that Bell Ringer to deal some damage also to Leo. He's not gonna have any trouble healing that one up. Of course, the vicious Bam Brace there. Tempo Melon not taking all that much more damage. Having the Reptile Remedy is doing actually quite a lot of work. They can't seem to find a way to get Tempo Melon out of here, as the Big Finish is gonna go off. Nothing more happens there. Overtime ensues. A flip there from Frightfully Fresh. They can't get one of these barriers. Now the damage is being sent to Tempo Melon, who's going to try to Reptile Remedy themselves up, or at least kill Malum. It's not going to work out just yet. Kill onto Carmine out of kind of nowhere. Now it's just a 2v3 here with Tempo and Fresh.
Yeah, this Vinny's so good at controlling open space. They have to make this triangle. Look at Moffin Curry actually looking to commit on the offense just to ensure that the goalie barrier goes down. Good reaction from Frightfully Fresh, though. But no, Moffin Curry gonna lag a little bit, gonna lose one barrier, not catastrophic. RTS still in a good position to win the point, but Leo Leon now gonna be very chunky. It's gonna be a little bit of a hard goal here. No, just wins strike force straight up. Well played from Leo Lee.
Nice. Okay, at least the lag did not cause the end of that point from Mop and Koei. They do end up cleaning that one up there with a nice strike war. They're going to start on to this next point. 1-1 in sets here on the Atlas variant. It's going to make these side lanes really difficult to clear past. The Big Finish sending the ball red basically regardless of your strength. It's going to be enough to grab at least that first barrier. A nice strike up through Leo Leon, which is a little bit scary, is going to work out for them. Templeman getting a little bit more energy here. In fact, you can actually farm energy by smashing yourself into the Atlas Orb, but a win with an X Maximus. The strike war is going to be good, as Malum's going to go in to try to help with this. It's like 1-2 punch now. It's actually just still the Super Surge, and the Prize Fighter is making that one red there, as Moffin Koei's going to try to defend this big open goal. Malum going to try to get it past Carmine with this side lane. It's going to be quite difficult. Going to have the ball bouncing vertically there, because that's just kind of how the orb sends it, as they're going to just work on getting this final barrier.
Yeah, both midfielders playing around at the Atlas Orb very well. Just basically the ball being held in place. It felt like a battle of equal wills right there, which meant that when this, it makes me think that when this this Atlas expanse is up, it's actually going to be very hard for either team to find ground. So we'll see who carries that advantage. As right now we have an open net for both teams.
Yeah, I would imagine that Estelle would have a little bit easier time there, though. But Malum's got some really great positioning there, and making sure that even with little Luna, with a lot of committal moves there, is still holding the line without having to use that boost. Almost gets a kill onto Leo Leon, really close, but the assistance of that Deadeye is still not going to be enough. Now, once again, trying to get it past these side lanes here, though. Had some cooldown to get it on through, but Moff and Kui's going to send it right down to Leo Leon. No big cooldowns left. Temple Melon finds the kill onto Maloom, and now the 2v3 is going to ensue here, though we might see a flip from Moffin to at least waste some time. This is going to be a conscious decision to see if they want to spend the time. A flip there from Temple Melon on in, and best case scenario again for the Rats, spends the flip from Moffin, who might have said maybe my win rate is too low in this exact spot. Could have held the flip, but they're going to take it there. Rats 1 point away from match point here. Or I guess we're in match point.
Well, yeah, then that's going to be a very hard position to come back from, especially now that your goalie has no evade to their name. Powerhouse Pauldrons is denying a little bit of that damage, but it's obviously not going to be enough against, I think, the Estelle X. Really, a little bit of a blunder. I think kind of the culmination of all the pressure that Temple Melon has been putting on Moff and Koi basically all game. So really big payout there, I think, on the mental stack. It's going to be up to Maloom and Leo Leon, though, to equalize things before the barriers finally break.
Yep, one barrier there. Carmine completely shattered. Again, Temple Melon was putting a lot of pressure there onto Moffin, who is now fully healed up, though, so no harm done just yet, as Carmine's going to get blasted almost into orbit, but still hanging out in our current atmosphere. Completely shattered, though. Temple Melon now taking a little bit of damage, too. Maloom gets the Maelstrom Orb, has a little bit of flip here, might make something happen. Leo Leon finds the combo. Actually enough to grab a kill onto Carmine, and Temple Melon sniffing out one of their own, but Leo Leon wise to the situation. Overtime flip, still not enough to get past Moff and Kui right now, though. X Maximus to just win a strike war, but still now into possession of RTF. Big finish comes in, gonna send the ball on up, gives Maloom a minor advantage, is enough to get the barrier, shoots it on in right as the gates are opening, and RTF is gonna try to keep this game alive. Still match point for the Rats, though.
Yeah. Very hard a position to be in, I think, for Fresh. Both Carmine and Fresh, I think, made very small blunders in their positioning, which meant they were just out of strike range to catch those cores. The one for the top goalie Barry, and another one for the actual goal itself. So really small mistakes immediately being capitalized onto RTF. They're still looking to take this, and, well, hey, points reset after the set. So right now, I think RTF only need to look forward ahead 1 point and see what they could do.
Often doing a great job of holding these barriers with so much pressure Temple Melon and Carmine are putting on. Even Leo Leon's going to have to back up a little bit to help keep these barriers alive. Bouncy House takes no prisoners. You will lose one barrier, you'll lose two in just about a second. Temple Melon, a lot of advantage here, though, but Kui and Leo Leon are going to hold the line. Oh my god, crazy Rose Warp from Carmine is actually going to end the game, winning Rats, the first one in this series. Damn, that was a good Rose Warp.
Yeah, RTF looking so fantastic. I think this team is incredibly hungry for that first seed spot coming out against some of the dynasties here in the league. And speaking of, they pull out this game number 1 against the veterans on RTF and do so in a very, very convincing fashion. 3-0 on the sets. Obviously, 4 goals from Leo Leon means that 2 of those sets went 3-2, but at the end of the day, it is a very clear statement game, I think, especially from Tempo Melon. So much pressure on the Moff and Koi, so much just damage overall, and Bloom felt like in a lot of those situations couldn't participate as much as a midfielder would want to, simply because the X was just pressuring the entire time, either with damage or taking space or forcing those rotations to help against the 1v1 defenses that Moff and Koi was against. So really, really strong play coming up from Temple Melon, looking real damn good going into game number 2.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you're saying here. Even just having Temple Melon standing on top of Maloom, I feel like one of Luna's best aspects is the fact that she can kind of help the goalie a little bit and then boom, boost right into the face of the opposing goalie. And then you're at your midfield, you got your double forward situation. Luna can kind of do both in like a really short time span. But if Temple Melon, the big giant X, is standing on top of Luna, she really can't boost around. So it kind of leaves Leo Leon in a single 2v1 situation, since Carmine, playing Aerials Estelle has a lot more mobility over the board, and it's going to just help Trifly Fresh out so much more. It's such a funny thing to see, like the brawler, hey, 115 redirects, not that much, but a lot of damage and a lot of kills, doing exactly what they're supposed to do, especially winning the first set, getting the first awakening there, really just lets X go kind of crazy, and that's the worst case scenario if you're the opposing team, letting X scale a little bit too fast. But we shall see as we're going to move on to this next game, which is going to be played on the map Brickback.
It's going to be playing what map?
There it is. I'm seeing the map in my eyes.
Oh,
It's Gates.
it's Gates. Okay. Oh, Actually, I'm pretty sure. I've been talking to Fresh about this. Right now, Rats are incredibly confident on Gates of Obscura. It's kind of if they feel like they could take on a lot of other teams playing this map, and they have really good compositions and strategies for this. So they're gonna, after a pretty good game one, I think they're gonna confidently go into game number two here, and we'll see what they could do with it. Because I believe, yeah, this is Rat's pick, and this is the thing that they want to opt into whenever given the opportunity. So I think that this is going to be a very strong showing from the Rat Pack, but obviously RTF going to be a group of veterans, have obviously played this map a ton as well, and Leo Leon Magic is never off the table. So each of these players are super mechanically strong, and I think that's something that's rewarded very heavily in Gates of Obscures with the portal plays and those very claustrophobic scenarios in the corner. So I still think there are opportunities here for RTF to shine.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I feel like both of these goalies also specifically do very well in those kind of claustrophobic situations. So very aware at like when the last literal millisecond is when to strikes. Love to see that from these really active and reactive players here, though. Going into gates is going to be interesting situation. We always have the mix up there. We want to cover all the portals, which leaves, of course, the middle completely open. So it's kind of in the hands of the goalie to make that conscious decision. Am I going to make the line with my team right through the center, or are we going to try to get the ball on in to the portal, which, of course, is usually when you hit the ball right into the portal, it's not always on the best side. So it's like making the line on the non-portal side is usually quite good, and we'll see how effective they can do these things. We might see some other characters in this game like Asher. Asher is a pretty cool pick for Gates of Obscura.
Yeah.
Finny probably going to be showing up again as well. So I'd like to, if you're saying that if Rat Pack is going to be nice on this map, RTF is going to have a good time here, maybe.
Yeah, and I want to draw attention to that Finny pick. Obviously, I think it had pretty good showing. Fresh is one of the Finny goalies, has really, really pushed the pick, even when she wasn't considered super duper strong, which that feels like ages ago. But with this timeless creator start, obviously that is one of Finny goalie's best awakenings. Even though you might be giving up the team player as goalie, I think that is well worth the trade, and that's going to be incredibly hard in all of these corner scenarios, right? But on the flip side, that X had a really good showing from Tempo Melon. Tempo Melon, it really felt like RTF were really struggling to find any sort of answers to this X. And maybe they might have a different team composition going into this with a different game plan. But I think that's also a pick that they have to respect. So I think this is going to be a really important ban. But I say that, but it's actually just immediately going to be Dubu picked away from them, which I think leaves RTS with their first pick. And I'm very curious to see what that is.
Yeah, I like you're saying. It is definitely an interesting choice if you're playing Finny here as the goalie, which of these to take. Like you're saying, Timeless so good when placing that big finish on those barriers, and it's like kind of feels like an impossible scenario to get out. But you do, yeah, give up that team player. It's tough. Also, if there is just a lot of pressure from the opposing team, Vinny doesn't really get to move up as often as they might want to. All that pressure might just make it so you have to kind of sit in your goal, and the big finish is used defensively and kind of awkwardly sometimes. But if you use something like maybe boots, maybe some momentum boots will help you get across the midfield there. Some of the picks are coming in there. RTF starting off with Big Kai, such a good pick these days. Kai, never bad, covering that midfield, really good at getting in those portals and has some good range. So I love Kai on my team, and there you go. Finny picked already, and Estelle, love those two pets. Everything's good right now. I got no questions.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just continuing forward that game plan from game number one, which worked oh so well. No aerial start, notably for Carmine this time, which is going to limit that mobility option a little bit. But I don't think it was the aerials that was like the difference between win and loss from last game. So I absolutely understand why this pick makes sense. Again, Finny, super duper strong, timeless creator start for this goalie pick means that all of these claustrophobic options are just amplified just to the moon and back. So we'll see. On the flip side, though, leaning into the timeless creator picks here, I think the Imi and the Asher are going to be incredibly interesting. I believe this is going to be. Ooh, I actually don't know. This could be an Imi goalie or an Asher goalie, but I'm very curious to see what is actually picked here from RTF. On the flip side, it looks like Temple Melon is going to be picking that Rasmus. Nothing particularly strong about the start for him, just something that I think Tempo feels incredibly comfortable on. So just selecting that when the other options aren't looking super great.
Yep, Asher, definitely an interesting pick here, though. Really good at squishing the ball into those claustrophobic spaces and just kind of, oh man, Path Splitter is this magical force of nature, which says no one can have any agency over the ball except for whatever direction you send it out. So really good at stealing some of those barriers and possibly double barrying there. Amy, another great mobility pick, lots of range across the map, and also quite good damage, kind of having the dash punch for Amy's version, but it's still quite good, especially if you're picking up things like heavy impact, and even missile prop helps it out a lot. Super surge, she loves those dash perks, so none to start out with. Like you said, no aerials for either of them right now, but we will be seeing some scaling a bit later. And I mean, I kind of like both of these picks here, though. This Asher Amy Kai looking like such a strong team, but it's kind of, I don't know, man. It's against Finny, Estelle, Rasmus. What do you think?
Yeah. There's just so much. Obviously, just like there's a lot going on, right? Finny with Timeless. You've got the Rasmus Estelle hit stun iconic duo. Obviously, it's not like a start that amplifies that by any means. I think both of these are going to go. Both of these players are going to go T players, Temple Melon and Carmine. And it's not like they're going to be enabled from set one to just blow up people, unless that there's some mispositioning coming out from RTF. But on the flip side, I think RTF playing into the Awakenings a little more. But I'm super curious to see where all of these characters go, because all of these characters can go into any position that RTF wants. So I'm a little curious, because it is a little off character from them, these picks, but outside the IME, but we'll see what they do.
We'll definitely be seeing what they will do. I mean, I love we just have like really good picks here, though. If I could talk about like the top tier midfielders, though, like obviously Estelle, like obviously Kai, like these are the two champions right now, in my opinion. And Rasmus, of course, synergizing with Estelle so well, like forcing the goalie to evade at basically every single situation that they have advantage. So I feel like this team here for Rat Pack is really good at kind of like checkmating the goalie in like a have to evade, spend your energy situation, and RTF is so good at using this claustrophobic space, having like Asher and having the Timeless Amy right there. So they're going to do probably a slightly better job with the core control, but we shall see. I mean, man, Rasmus Estelle is the dream team, has been the dream team, I feel like.
Yeah, though not a very great start right now. Bloom and Leo Leon, very good pressure already. This is before IME gets the level 2 special. Of course, did not actually opt into Timeless Creator. The only person to do that being Leo Leon, as he is expecting to not find too much use out of the team player. It doesn't backpass. Doesn't feel like the need to backpass is going to be there all too much, and just looking to stomp some toes here in the enemy's goalie's box.
Yep, spending a little bit of resources there. Going to get a kill here. RTF with the first power play of the board. Malum a little low, but really not many resources there to get a kill. Trying to knock Temple Melon out of the way. Doing some solid damage, though. Stand too close to the edge. Oh, Frightfully Fresh does not find a strike on that ball. Mafinkui is going to get credit for that point there, though. Sending the first point on over here to RTF.
Yeah, that was a really good eject from Mafinkui, actually. Or sorry, really good. I'm forgetting the IME name, secondary, but yeah, Cyber Swipe. Thank you, from the IME going forward, because that actually called out Frightfully Fresh's strike shot, which was proactive in that scenario. So that was really good, because Frightfully Fresh, even though he was able to react to it, literally did not have to strike cooldown, and that's why we saw that slow roller goal coming through. So really great prediction from Mafinkui, and that's going to be a cheeky first point for RTF.
Nice stacking the strikes there perfectly to get the ball out against Temple Melon. Tough spot, but they find it either way. The determination of this Estelle, and Frightfully Fresh giving the ball on over there. Has a flip, got this big finish going out. Malum prepares for it quite well. Mafinkui definitely going to give that ball right over to Malum. Going to spend that flip, try to squish it into the corner there, though. Counter a flip from Frightfully Fresh is going to at least get it out for that moment. Now strike primary also is going to get it out. Temple Melon has his flip, decides not to spend it there. Thought they might have had the goal with holding that resource. It's not going to work out just yet, as they have to fight for it one more time. A flip, really quick one from Temple Melon is going to sink that one against Mafinkui. 1-1 right now. I do like what we're seeing here, though. It feels a little bit more balanced than last time with these team player starts.
Yeah, I could absolutely agree with that. I think good heads up from Temple Melon to recognize that she has the force 50-50 when she gets that flip off. But wow, yeah, as I'm talking here, Frightfully Fresh going to be knocked off the stage immediately by Leo Leon and Bloom. And very scary situation, but really great defensive flip and defensive play from Carmine.
Yeah, I feel like Asher in general isn't super known for like, yo, I'm one-shotting the opponent, but sometimes you like walk into the pad splitter and that thing will solo your entire family. So sometimes you gotta watch out for the pad splitter. Things get a little bit rough, but regardless, 2 barriers down there for the side of Rats, and still holding here for RTF. Balloon goes for a nice interception there. Again, the glitch pop is going to intercept another pass. Temple Melon can't seem to get their hands on the ball in a spot that'll actually sink them this goal. Moffin has flipped, though we might see another wild eject there. Here comes the Timeless Creator. Wow. They actually do end up getting the ball out, but a nice self-pass there is going to be great for the side of RTF. A flip from Leoliana combo with the Giga. Oh my god, that is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, really, really good play from Loom. Both Frightfully Fresh and Carmine walking towards the goalie line to kind of give them as much time as possible to react to the flip. And Loom just going, I think I'll take that, and just sending out that Giga, sends it right into Frightfully Fresh. Leon immediately able to recognize the change in situation and just capitalize off of that. So RTF coming in strong. This is the first time they're going to have a lead so far this series, and we'll see if they're going to be able to take that into a set win.
Yeah, man, that play was so freaking awesome. It's like, obviously when someone flips near the goal, your first reaction is to back up as far as you can kind of situation, but Illumina did exactly perfectly. Both of these barriers are now down. Big Finish comes in, gives the ball back to Fresh. Nothing too bad there happening with that Big Finish. Temple Melon a little bit low, trying to get really involved to help this ball on out of there. It does end up working out, steals it away, but Glitch Pop is going to give advantage here to RTF. The possession is endless until Carmine gets a flip there. The Temple Melon almost wins it out, but just too many strikes for RTF. Now goes in there with another Whiplash, but doesn't find it again. Tough spot there as we're going to triple take Bloom the heck out of there. Wow, instantly gets a kill, but now we're overtime team player and things are going to get red.
Yeah, it's going to be very scary with these team player procs. Really good offensive play coming out from the Rat Pack, but they're not able to find too much value off of it. The defensive flip going to be used by Moff and Koei, but that's just not enough for the Rat Pack finally able to get the goalie barrier.
Yeah, Temple Melon stays in a dangerous situation. Okay, the ball is just like, actually, I'm out of here. Goes right on through both of these players, and it's going to be a point there for the Rats. It could still be International Rattington Day. We're at 2-2 right now. If they win the set, it really is Rat Day. If not, well, it's not.
We'll see in just a few moments. Both goalie barriers, though, immediately going to go down to RTF. This is looking really good right now for Rat Pack.
Yep, Frightfully Fresh got this flip to move forward. Gonna probably make it happen. Has Strike Shot, though, so not a lot of mobility for at least running around just yet. Love these passes right here, building up a lot of energy. So much energy that they're actually just solo doloing this one to try to get some energy, get some experience, try to mix up RTF as much as they can, and my gosh, they get on the front there. Carmine sinks it. Another Rose Warpington is going to steal Rats the first set.
Yeah, and both Carmine and Temple Melon, both very humorous individuals. They do like to go for plays like that, and I think that actually worked out really well there, just kind of building up the will they, won't they pressure and allowing Moff and Koei and Loom to kind of stack up their own mental right there, and eventually just allowing Carmine to win the strike war and send it in. So really, really funny play coming out from the Rat Pack, but it's almost in character. Looking at the draft itself, though, the Monumentalist Deny from the Kai, I think, speaks to the power that Finny has on this map, even without the Timeless Creator. We're passing up things. I missed it, but we're passing up on basically every other awakening that does something for you for that Monumentalist Deny. So very good play, or very sacrificial play from Bloom, but caused because this Finny pick is incredibly strong on this map.
It's true. Almost gets it in there, though, but the strike shot going to keep that one up. Temple Melon intercepting Malum a little bit there. Going right through the portal. Not much to do other than wait. A great wait there from Moffin is going to at least avoid the Death's Touch. Triple take to keep possession of the red team here. On up to Carmine. Squishes it right on through into the hands of Temple Melon, but can't do too much yet. Without this Whiplash, not a lot going to happen there. Carmine actually mixes up, doesn't go into the portal. Hands the ball over to Frightfully Fresh. Once again, it does have the team player going on, so get that extra 12% speed as well. Almost okay. Frightfully Fresh almost kind of throwing question mark, but gonna keep it up here though. It's still 2 barriers on the side of RTF. Not too much pressure being exchanged except for onto Fresh.
And look how annoying Fresh is able to be as well on the defense. Able to use Finny's abilities just to deny space and scoring opportunities that otherwise would look really easy. Now we are going to be in overtime. This is where Finny can sometimes suffer because she just simply won't have the time to use those delayed abilities. But we'll see is what was that? Where did that come from? All of a sudden, the redirect in the portal catches everyone off guard.
Yeah, you know what's funny? There are some situations where you can actually affect the ball like right as it's teleporting. You only have like a half amount of time to do it though from like the actual animation, and Maluma actually gets exactly that. Great redirect is going to mix up basically everyone there and get that nicely point done. Both barriers up here for this point into the portal. A kill from Templemelon spends that resource flip to get that power play. Another flip here from Carmine to get the final barrier. They just want this point really badly. They have a power play, but spending a lot of resources to finish it up, and it would be a shame if they didn't get it, and at least, there you go. But 2 flips indeed down. Fresh is building up 1. Maloom has 1 of their own, and so does Moffin. So we'll see if the energy difference here is actually the big play.
Yeah, good discipline from Moffin, recognizing, all right, this point's cooked, but we're still going to be tied up, and we're going to have the resource advantage, so we should be able to score the next point or 2 to close out the set. So really good decision. Unfortunately, with that KO, that advantage has just evaporated a little bit, and yeah, now going to be an open net for the side of RTF, not where you want to be.
And Amy is it feels very polarizing as a goalie a lot of the time. Like, she is so very good at dealing a lot of offensive pressure here. Like, as you can see with this firewall sentry helping just do 20 strikes without having to do much. But she doesn't really have much beyond that after she ejects. And there, I mean, you see it right there. Moffin Kui got a little stunned by the Dead's Touch too. Not to be able to flip that one out of there. Rats taking advantage of how small and sad this Amy is until this flip comes into play.
Yeah, really awesome from Templemelon to recognize that she has the perfect amount of hit stun to make sure that Moffin doesn't get the flip there and just score the goal off of that. That was, I think, just showing a little bit of mastery on the Rasmussen, showing why this is one of her favorite picks. So that's going to be 2 sneaky goals, and even though a little bit of a blunder from Fresh here might be a bad situation, Rats is still looking pretty damn good.
Are still looking pretty good. 2 barriers up here from RTF. Templemelon's gonna have to make a play here. Decides to go for the
God.
Go for the orb, backs up and baits it out. Maloom, definitely a fish on the line right there. Blasted off the board. Now we have a nice power play here though. Oh man, this Leo Leon is holding the line here. Moffin Kui helping get it out as well, and they still hold both of those barriers in that power play. Leo has a flip of their own. Might be able to make it happen here though. Absolutely really close though with that strike shot, but that is 1,000,000% non-reactable. You just are going to send it out, and it was close. But another point there, 2-2 in this set. Rats could be taking a big advantage right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a very important point for this game, depending on if you are Rats or RTF. RTF obviously looking to take that, or looking to even it up and give themselves a little bit more time to scale, but Rats now just looking to end the entire series. If they get this, it's going to be a very good position for them, because I think every character here can scale. So if you are RTF, you are looking to buy as many Awakening drafts as possible for yourself.
Yep, Rat's looking so good right now. So much advantage, not too much energy to mention here just yet, but a lot of great mobility is giving them so much possession. Templemelon using the portal to escape. Nice evade there from Moffin. The only thing that's going to get the ball on out of there and save the point. Nothing left, though, and there you go. A nice strike there from Carmine, possibly assisted on the 12% speed of that team player. Is going to be too much for Moffin Kui to handle. Now the Rats, so good right now. Such advantage. Templemelon first pick.
Yeah. There's a lot here. The extra special, obviously, so many shenanigans, but can go the explosive entrance for the mobility, as well as denying Aimi. I think that was the correct play to do. Just the highest value pick that both does something good for the Rasmus, but also denies the Aimi. And even though this extra special is picked up by Moffin Kui, without that timeless that was a starter awakening and not in the draft, this can only go so far as a build. So it does feel like RTF is grasping for straws a little bit. With this primetime heavy impact as well, picked up by the side of RTF, I feel like I can handily say they came out advantage on this draft. Everyone got something that they wanted, whereas RTF, unfortunately, only picking up the pieces. I think the only real winner of that draft on the side of RTF being Leo Leon there. The size, I think, going to be pretty significant here against the Fang.
Definitely a lot of useful awakenings there as well. I want everyone to keep their eyes on Maloom. There's one thing I'm noticing every time I see Kai, it's the Giga Blast kills off the side. Non-stop am I seeing this happen. And I feel like, well, Kai's usually controlling the midfield and getting the ball through, but man, the Giga Blast kills just from nothing. Behind a big Lice, winning the strike where they're with an evade. Temple Melon makes it happen. Muffin had, just a moment to react there with that eject, but can't get in time. Temple Melon on the move right now, on the move with that explosive entrance and making it happen. And this could be the end of this series if this keeps up, bro.
Yeah, Temple Melon is looking so good right now. Had a proactive evade to deny Muffin Koei the easy clear and immediately scored from it. So even though Rats, unfortunately, is going to be clobbered a little bit here on the defense, they are looking phenomenal. They have been all series, but I need to stop talking about Rats. RTF just scored a goal.
Yeah, runs right into them with that breakthrough, certainly breaking through the goalie and getting the point. I'm sure Asher says that when she scores the point anyway, so regardless, gonna get that next point and even this one up as a blast there from Carmine. Piercing shot executes immediately. Rats taking advantage here with this power play. So much hit stun with the Death's Touch. Having a specialized training is going to get Muffin Koei the heck out of there. Finally, Maloom returning to the top here. Rightfully Fresh keeping possession for their team, keeping the ball on the side of RTF. Controlling the portal, Carmine is. The ball is going to be just kind of squished on in there. Rightfully Fresh getting the strike shot on up to Carmine. Maloon intercepting just a little bit there. Leo Leon helping the defense a little bit, but they managed to get the barrier strike on down, and Muffin is out. No one to defend the goal on the bottom side. And now it's true. It's series point here for Rats.
That point just looked unplayable for Muffin. That just looked disgusting. We saw, like, it's bad when the Finny is using her creation to damage you. Right? She's using the great finale to just get damage onto you to force your evade so that the other members can just sweep up. And on top of that, their offense is still going. So all of this offensive play coming out from Fresh is just there to shut down Muffin, and it worked really well. This double berry from Tempo Melon, now potentially the death bell for RTF.
Rare double barrier onto Gates requires perfect precision usually to get at least the double nose there, though. Temple Melon not getting too involved there with that flip. Ball's going to roll on over to Frightfully Fresh, who is going to save that barrier with one of their own. They're going to have to get it out through Leo Leon. Got the whiplash up. Bloom taking a whole lot of extra damage there, trying to intercept this ball, maybe deal damage to the opposing side. Frightfully Fresh easily defends it out, almost gets the ball on over to Temple Melon, who's looking at the final point here. Executes Leo Leon with just a pendulum swing. Maloom has no health to work with, knocked out of the way, but a great glitch pop is going to intercept the pass completely. They can't get it to Temple Melon just yet, but the team player overtime is most likely going to make it happen.
Yeah, this is such a scary situation to be in. Temple Melon not going to be KO'd there, and that's big. Still, this flip is going to be so scary to deal with. The pull is there as well. Tempo Melon adding insult to injury for that one. It's International Rat Day, and the Rat Pack have once again claimed victory here on the court. It's going to be sitting very pretty 5-1 going into the later half of this season.
Actually, incredible gameplay there. The Rats really stepping up here, taking out a really good team here. RTF, and moving up to 5-1, like you said, is so good. Is so very good to now be ahead in this current week. You know that they're just ecstatic on what is going on right now. You see some of these numbers here, though. Frightfully Fresh hitting the ball more than anyone could ever hit the ball at 183 in that game. 5 kills there from Temple Melon. Man, Temple Melon so in there. It's like when Temple Melon was in there, the point ended, and Carmine did such a good job of just giving the ball to that force of nature, and it was just Fresh holding it down as well. I mean, both of these teams did actually an incredible job with like intercepting what they needed to, but man, the team player overtime made things just so crazy. And it's like whoever just wasted resources a little earlier than they needed to, it folded instantly. Maybe so many points where Muffin just did not have anything to stop that slow roll ball right on in there, and that was it. That was curtains. Rats actually godlike performance and made it happen. Congratulations to the Rats. We will be moving on to our next game, though. If we come back in just a few seconds here, though, a few minutes, actually, it's going to be EKC versus the Bozo Bunch. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll continue this in a few minutes.
悔しくないのかさびれてる舞台を前にうろたえるのか抗って切り開いて見返す番だ目を離すな歴史を塗り替えてやるさダンダンダンダンダン勝って完成巻き起こしてエコキダンダンダンダンダン待ってあと少しせめぎ合うしっぱし挑みたい掴みたい刻みたい革命の火ぶた切って伝説の花掲げてゆこうさあねちゃんちゃんちゃん僕に飛び込んで熱狂を起こす同志になれねちゃんちゃんちゃん大胆に行こうぜ本能を覚まして感動を起こせ伝説刻んで大地蹴って蹴って蹴ってブレイク
Match point of grand finals, a long journey, all comes down to this. Looking for a passing lane, there's the opening on the outside, the pass, it's wide open, a beautiful shot to the corner, they've reached the summit!